In Japan in 2023, it wasn't a study, but rather a traditional revolution that erupted once again. Why do some people maintain that slim waist and upright posture even as they age? Is it genetics? No. Observations of 5,000 people whisper a surprising truth. The problem isn't your fat, it's your misaligned skeleton. The 4 methods I'm about to share to get rid of hip fat will work wonders for you, but the last one might surprise you. Don't miss it. If your eyes involuntarily go to your hip area every time you look in the mirror, know that this is not unique to you. In surveys and clinical observations conducted worldwide, the hip and buttock area stands out as one of the areas where both women and men feel the most discomfort in their bodies. Moreover, this discomfort is not just an aesthetic issue. It can directly affect a person's self-image, self-confidence, and comfort in social life. Approaches that have been emphasised for many years in Japan suggest that the appearance of the hips and buttocks cannot be explained solely by fat tissue. According to this prediction, especially as we age and with the modern lifestyle of sitting for long periods of time, poor posture and changes in skeletal alignment can visibly affect the body's silhouette. The position of the structures around the pelvic bone can change due to the effects of gravity, causing the hip area to appear wider or saggier than it actually is. One of the names who systematised this view is Japanese orthopedist Dr. Toshiki Fukutsudzi. In his clinical observations, Fukutsudzi noticed that changes in the appearance of the hips and waist in many people did not parallel weight gain alone. He observed that in some individuals, even if their weight remained stable, changes in body contours occurred due to openings in the pelvic bone position and misalignments in the spine. His approach focused not so much on the fattening of the hip area, but rather on the disruption of the body's weight distribution and posture balance. I want to touch on a critical point here, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. These methods do not guarantee miraculous fat loss. The goal is to help improve the appearance of the waist, abdomen, and most importantly, the hip area, by bringing the body into a more balanced position. In short, rather than directly melting fat deposits, it supports posture by distributing the load on the skeletal system more evenly. The reason such information reaches many people late is that the solution is simple. Risky surgical interventions and long, expensive programs are always more visible, while posture alignment and daily habits often take a back seat. However, some methods aim to increase body awareness and support posture over time with just a few minutes of practice. In summary, the appearance of the hip area is not always just a matter of excess fat. Posture, spinal alignment, pelvic bone position, and daily lifestyle habits can play an important role in this appearance. This perspective offers a more realistic and sustainable approach that treats the body as a whole without blaming the individual. 1. Method: the towel method. Fukutsudzi's towel method reached a wide audience in Japan with a book published in 2009. The book quickly reached millions of readers and became popular, especially among those interested in posture, back and body alignment. However, it remained largely unknown in many countries outside Japan for a long time. The main reason for this was that the method was presented as a very simple application that did not require any devices, medication, or complex programs. If you try the towel method, please write a comment so we can see how many of us there are. At the heart of this treatment is the idea that the alignment of the body, particularly at the pelvis and waist, can affect the appearance of the hip area. To perform the application, a regular bath towel is used. The towel is rolled up tightly and adjusted to a diameter of approximately 8 to 10 centimetres. It is tied with string or elastic to maintain its shape. A firm, flat surface is preferred. A floor mat or thin mat laid on the floor is more suitable than soft surfaces such as a bed. The prepared towel is placed behind the navel, that is, under the small of the back, when lying on your back. The person then slowly lies on their back. The legs are kept shoulder width apart, with the toes slightly turned inward. The arms are extended above the head, with the palms facing down and the little fingers brought close together. It is recommended to remain in this position for approximately 3 to 5 minutes initially. At first, you may feel slight discomfort or unusual tension. This is common and usually stems from the body entering an unfamiliar position. Within a few minutes, you may feel relaxation in your lower back and spine. The goal is not to force the body, but to allow it to gently adjust this position. The basic logic behind this method is as follows. Over time, the pelvis and lower back can shift forward or to the side due to the effects of gravity and posture habits. This short-term practice, performed with towel support, aims to remind the spine of its natural curve and increase body awareness. This may help reduce the appearance of a wide hip and lower back area, caused by posture in some individuals. It is recommended that the application be performed no more than once a day. If 5 minutes feels too long in the first few days, the duration can be started at 3 minutes and increased over time. It is important for people with herniated discs, severe back pain, or spinal disorders to consult a healthcare professional before attempting such applications. Feeling sharp pain during the application is not normal. In such a case, the thickness of the towel should be reduced, or the application should be stopped. From this point on, I will continue with budget-friendly and retirement-friendly methods that affect the appearance of the hip area. Method 2. Lymphatic system, Shiatsu massage, and the Hara Hachi Bu philosophy. Not all swelling in the hip and buttock area can be explained by fat tissue. One of the main reasons for the volume increase commonly seen in this area is the lymphatic system not working actively enough. The lymphatic system acts as the body's waste management mechanism. It collects excess fluid, metabolic waste, and some toxins that accumulate between cells and returns them to circulation. However, this system does not have its own pump like the heart. Lymph flow is largely supported by muscle movements and body position. Modern lifestyle becomes a decisive factor here. In people who spend most of their day sitting, lymph flow may slow down, especially in the hip and lower body regions. Prolonged immobility reduces fluid circulation, which can lead to fluid accumulation between tissues. This accumulation often creates a cellulite-like appearance, but it does not always mean an increase in fat. It is known that lower body edema is more common in individuals who sit for more than 6 hours at a time. The Shiatsu approach, practiced in Japan for centuries, comes into play at this point. Shiatsu is a traditional massage technique that aims to support the body's natural flow through controlled pressure applied to specific points using fingers, palms, and joints. When applied for lymphatic drainage, the goal is to stimulate fluid movement between tissues and support circulation. The application is quite simple. The hands are lightly clenched into fists and the side of the hip is stroked using the knuckles. Circular movements are made with moderate pressure that is not uncomfortable. Staying at each point for about 10 seconds, slowly progress from top to bottom. Then, starting from the upper line of the hip bone, the same movements are repeated towards the rear hip area. Allowing an average of 5 minutes for each side is sufficient. After this stage, the palms come into play. The hip area is worked with stroking movements from bottom to top. These movements should be gentle and rhythmic, as if directing the fluid between the tissues upward. Approximately 20 repetitions can be performed. The most important point is the direction of the massage. Lymph flow should be supported towards the lymph nodes in the groin area. Therefore, the movements are completed by sliding towards the groin area with light pressure. The best time for the application is usually in the evening. Especially after a warm shower, the body is more relaxed and the massage is easier to perform. Using a small amount of olive oil or almond oil provides lubrication on the skin and enhances the comfort of the massage. The effect of this massage is not to create dramatic changes in a single application. It emerges over time with regular repetition. It is generally considered sufficient to apply it daily for the first 2 weeks, then reduce it to 2 or 3 days a week. A slight sensitivity may be felt during the application. This is normal. However, if sharp or uncomfortable pain occurs, the pressure should be reduced or the application should be paused. The effects of these techniques emerge with patience and consistent application. The body does not change habits formed over years overnight. However, small steps in the right direction can create noticeable differences over time. Japan's Okinawa region is one of the places in the world known for its long life expectancy. When examining the lifestyles of individuals who reach advanced ages in this region, one common point is the Hara Hachi Bu philosophy. At the core of this approximately 2,500-year-old concept is the idea of leaving the table 80% full. Have you heard of this philosophy before? Hara Hachi Bu advises stopping before the stomach is completely full, rather than eating until completely full. The underlying idea is that the brain perceives the fullness signal approximately 20 minutes after the stomach is full. Considering this time frame, when a person feels completely full, they may have actually eaten more than they need. When you're 80% full, this delayed signal kicks in, and a feeling of fullness naturally occurs after a while. This does not mean going hungry. It simply means avoiding overeating. To adapt this method to everyday life, some easy habits are recommended. First, eating slowly and deliberately is very important. Chewing thoroughly, focusing on the food, and staying away from distracting screens allows the feeling of fullness to be understood more clearly. Smaller plates also positively affect portion perception. In addition, drinking a small amount of water before eating can support the feeling of fullness in the stomach. The order of eating is also important in this approach. Starting the meal with vegetables, then moving on to protein sources and leaving carbohydrates for last can help blood sugar rise more steadily. Hara Hachi. This is not a system based on counting calories or grams. It teaches you to listen to your body's signals and recognise when you've had enough. This habit may be challenging at first, but over time your body adapts, and you may find that you feel satisfied with less food. If you find these methods interesting, don't forget to like the video. 3. Method. Tabata and exercise factors. Affecting hip and lower body appearance are not limited to nutrition or posture. Muscle activity, metabolic rate, and hormonal responses also play an important role in this process. At this point, the Tabata protocol, based on the principle of high-intensity work in a short period of time, offers an attractive exercise approach for people with time constraints. The Tabata method was developed by Japanese sports physiologist Dr. Izumi Tabata during studies conducted on Japanese Olympic speed skaters. The goal is to simultaneously support both cardiovascular capacity and muscle endurance through a training model that requires maximum performance in a very short time. The key feature of this protocol is that, despite its short duration, its intensity is extremely high. Tabata's structure is straightforward. Exercise is performed at high intensity for 20 seconds, followed by a short 10-second rest period. When this cycle is repeated 8 times, the total duration is only 4 minutes. However, these 4 minutes create a much more intense physiological stimulus than a classic walk or light exercise. Heart rate increases, muscles tire quickly, and the body may continue to expend energy even after the exercise is finished. Tabata workouts targeting the glutes and lower body muscles do not require a lot of equipment. Basic bodyweight exercises are sufficient. For example, the squat exercise actively works the glute muscles. The feet are placed shoulder width apart, the hips are pushed back, and the body is lowered into a controlled squat before standing back up. This movement is performed for 20 seconds at a pace appropriate to the individual's capacity. In the next stage, more dynamic variations, such as squat jumps, can be added. The goal here is not the height of the jump, but to maintain the flow of the movement. Lunge movements contribute to the balance working of both the hip and leg muscles. Finally, floor exercises, such as the glute bridge, help isolate and activate the hip muscles. When this cycle of 4 movements is repeated twice, the Tabata protocol is complete. One of the key advantages of Tabata is its time efficiency. For those who find it difficult to plan long workout sessions, this approach can make it easier to incorporate exercise into their daily routine. However, there is an important point to note here: intensity. For this reason, Tabata is usually performed 2 or 3 days a week, with rest days in between. Rest is necessary for muscle recovery and adaptation. For individuals who have not previously exercised regularly, it is recommended that movements be performed more slowly and with greater control at the beginning. Movements involving jumping can be omitted in the initial stages, and the pace should be maintained at a level where the individual does not lose control of their breathing. For safe practice, it is important to do a short warm-up before Tabata. Light-paced walking, joint rotation movements, and simple stretches help prepare the muscles for exercise. After exercise, slow-paced movements should be used to help the heart rate return to normal. 4. Method: pelvic floor exercises. Another issue that is often overlooked but extremely important in lower body health is the pelvic floor muscles. This muscle group is located in the lower abdominal region and plays a role in supporting organs such as the bladder, intestines, and in women, the uterus. Weakening of the pelvic floor muscles can affect posture and lower body balance over time. Strengthening these muscles can contribute to better support of the hip and lower back region. The most well-known form of pelvic floor exercises consists of simple contraction and relaxation exercises that can be easily integrated into daily life. The exercise begins by becoming aware of the muscles in the lower region, as if trying to briefly stop the flow of urine. The muscles are tightened for about 5 seconds, then relaxed for 5 seconds. 10 repetitions of this cycle completes one set. 3 sets throughout the day are generally considered sufficient. At first, it may be difficult to feel these muscles because most people consciously use this area very little. However, with regular practice, awareness increases and the muscles begin to strengthen over time. In the following weeks, the contraction time can be gradually increased. The key here is to avoid involuntarily tensing the hip, abdominal and leg muscles during the exercise. The movement focuses solely on the lower region. Placing your hand on the abdominal area to maintain control can help you understand whether the correct muscle group is being worked. In Japanese culture, it is believed that small but consistent habits like this are important for maintaining long-term body balance. Strong pelvic floor muscles contribute to overall lower body stability and can also support the effectiveness of other exercises. Therefore, incorporating pelvic floor exercises into your daily routine alongside dynamic workouts like Tabata offers a more balanced and sustainable approach. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the videos for more content.